then all of a sudden, like, they would just move, like, the towel up and it would just reveal their little ding-dongs. Like, I like how this one's shaved, Hayley. Yeah, I like this one. This one looks like it's a grower, not a shower. Welcome back to another episode of Finish Podcast. We're your hosts, Hayley and Abby, and in today's episode, we are going to be delving into the power of alcohol and how it transforms us into people we really do not recognise. And interestingly, on that topic, I have to say, Hayley, we're now coming to the end of January, and I know there are lots of people who have been doing dry January this year, every year for that matter. And I'm one of them, although technically speaking, I've not been doing it just for January. I've been trying to do it for as much as I could. And we are now at 26th of January and I've not had a drop of alcohol for 26 days. I think that's pretty good going.
I think that's really good going, especially, you know, how much you were drinking before. Can I delve straight into saying that? Oh my God.
God. Shame me, Hayley. We've just started with 2 minutes into the episode.
Not even 2 minutes. And I'm like, she was an alcoholic, guys.
It's true, though. It's true.
Let me say congratulations. 26 days. Let's not gloss over that. 26 days is a lot. Well done.
I mean, it's pretty good, yeah. I mean, considering this time last year, I think I probably would have been on my 26th bottle of rum at this point in the year. So 26 days without actually having anything is pretty good. I know it's not going to be the whole year. I'm not going to be able to make it the whole year because realistically, you know, we've got events that are going to be coming up and I want to have some fun, you know what I mean? But what I want to do, I think, because I drank so much alcohol last year, it was terrible. I just want my body to recover a little bit and not even the body, I think the mind, and I think the pure recovery from the pure embarrassment of some of the things that we tend to do when we're drunk as well. And exactly like I said at the beginning, you become somebody you don't recognize when you've had a bit of alcohol. And some people love it. So some people drink alcohol because they want to come out of their shell a little bit and they want to be a bit confident, or they want to have a boogie on the dance floor, and having, you know, like 2 glasses of wine is going to do that for you. Whereas sometimes, myself included, you become somebody who does some stupid stuff and you wake up in the morning cringing, dying of embarrassment, wanting the world to swallow you up.
That's if you can remember. That's if you didn't completely black out and actually have memories of what happened. And also, you are not a lightweight, or you were not. So it would be interesting to see when you go back to drinking. But it takes Abby a very long time to get drunk. She is not the kind of person that can just have 2 glasses of wine and then be boogieing on the dance floor. It would take her 6 or 7 double rums, if maybe not add a few shots onto that before she is even beginning to feel tipsy.
I know, I don't know where it's come from. And I was always really curious about this because, you know, everyone in my family gets drunk relatively quickly, or the women in my family get drunk quite quickly. I've always been someone that just needs to drink as much alcohol as possible. And like now I have things like, I have stronger rums and I'll have to have doubles, maybe even triple sometimes. And for every one single drink that one of my friends has, I will have to have a double or a triple to try and make sure that I'm like getting as drunk as them. And it ends up being a very expensive night, ladies and gentlemen, a very expensive night. And plus, when even though you don't get drunk as quick as everybody else, you're still taking in a large volume of alcohol. So your hangover the next day is so terrible and so violent. And other people are just getting out of bed, fresh-faced, going for a run, going to do the Aldi shop, and they're just like, oh, I feel fine this morning. And I'm like, good for you. I had about 5 times the amount as you did. So excuse me while I go and vomit in the toilet.
I just find it so funny to hear you talking about this, though, considering that when we met, you weren't a drinker.
No, I wasn't, was I? No.
You were not a drinker, because I'm still not a drinker, really. I'm not anti-alcohol, as you know. I do have some drinks occasionally, but it isn't part of my normal routine. So I've not changed that much, really, since when we first met. Yet you went from lovely, innocent, completely sober Abby to full-on alcoholic.
She's saying I'm an alcoholic. I weren't that bad, guys. It wasn't that
No,
bad.
she wasn't. She wasn't that bad. She just, you started drinking. I don't even know when you started drinking, but you started to enjoy alcohol more, which is, great. I can't even remember when that happened, but it's been in recent years. So you went from this lovely, really innocent, quite young and immature Abby to suddenly, drinking rum of all drinks. Like rum is hardcore. I can't stand it.
I
There's me
love
still
it.
enjoying like my Malibu and Coke, my amaretto. I still go with the lightest stuff, whereas you're full on rum.
Well, to be fair, I started with Malibu. Like my mum always used to drink Malibu, and so it would be the only alcoholic drink that I would be able to tolerate because it kind of tasted like okay, it was nice. Plus, I've always lived by the idea that I swear I used to be a pirate in a past life because just everything, like my way of living, just my personality, I just feel like I was destined to be a pirate. And so the rum's just kind of like another factor of that, to be honest. So I feel like I didn't drink much alcohol because I always used to say, oh, I don't like it. I can always taste the alcohol in things, but it's because I never tried the right stuff. And when you're a teenager, like you said, no one realistically is going to be thinking rum. Rum is the drink for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to think that. As like an 18-year-old girl, I'm not going to think rum is my drink. So it's just taken a little while, I think, for me to realize that actually this is a pretty tasty beverage. And, I aspire to be a pirate. So I was like, this is perfect. This is my drink. This is what I'm destined to drink. But I didn't, neither of us used to drink much. I remember like we used to have some nights though when like we were at home and we would just like play some little drinking games. Do you remember, Hayley? Oh God, here we go. There was this one game where we played where I think I was with my ex-partner at the time and we had to blindfold you and you had to guess what you were feeling. Can you remember?
Yeah,
It sounds like it's gonna sounds like it's going to be really dodgy. It's not.
It's not. No. Not only can I remember, but I actually have a picture
You do.
on my wall in my entrance of me blindfolded holding this particular gross thing. Do you remember what it is?
I'm pretty sure it was a sanitary towel, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Not a used one. Not a used one.
No. A clean one, thankfully. Yes, I have that lovely memory there.
And I think you're holding it up to your nose. Oh no, wait, didn't we coat it with something? I think we put something in it to put you off, like with peanut butter or something.
I'm sure you did.
Smelling it. Yeah. This is the sort of stupid things that we used to do when we were younger and we would drink together.
That was literally like Malibu. It was only we wouldn't even get through half a bottle between us. We were such lightweights and just not really into drinking at all.
Though, to be fair. I think I was
don't
always
know whether were you not a lightweight or did you just not drink? I'm not sure back then what it was for you. Whereas I've never been a drinker and I'm also a lightweight. So I think even when I did drink, I would only have a couple and I'd be absolutely out of it, wouldn't I?
You would just, when Hayley had drunk enough, because like she would just start giggling like a little leprechaun. And as soon as the giggles started, we were like, oh, she's fucked. And we'd be like, how much does she have to drink? And like someone will hold up a glass and be like, 1 glass of wine.
Yeah, that's still the case today, by the way, guys. My husband loves it because I am a cheap date.
I know, I'm so jealous. I'm so envious. My poor bag hates me after a night out. This is why I like to go to Spoons, guys, because it's cheap.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Abby loves Spoons. She fucking loves Wetherspoons. If you don't know what Wetherspoons is, you need to research it. If you live in a place where there is a Wetherspoons, you need to go and check it out for yourself. From my perspective, I feel like your soul and your eyes are going to be burnt for life. Whereas Abby fucking loves it there. What is it about Spoons?
I bloody love a Spoons. It's just, I don't know. I think, but Spoons is just one you can order to your table. So it means you don't have to talk to anybody, which is obviously fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of people who just got a lot of energy, who are just all down to have a good time, all going to the same place. So you just vibe. Like it's chaotic, it's loud, it's stressful, but everyone's there just like all having the right buzz, aren't they? It's cheap, to be honest with you. It's very cheap. I don't think you're going to find anywhere as cheap as Spoons. Although interestingly, wherever I've gone to a Spoons, it's always just been like a sit down, have drinks come to your table. It's just like a bar restaurant kind of thing, if you can even call it that, to be fair. However, I went to Manchester. It must have been like last year or something. Bear in mind, it's Manchester. There's like, 10 Spoons there? We went to a very particular Spoons, and all of a sudden there was like the tables being moved off of this dance floor. These lights came on. This DJ started up, and I swear to God, I have never been to a Spoons where there has been a dance floor and a DJ. And I was it unlocked a whole other like side of Spoons for me. Hayley's there absolutely hating her life. The fact that she's even in a Spoons. I'm just there, like mouth to the floor, and they're just like getting up Michael Jackson and S Club 7, and it's all the music that I love as well. And honestly, I just felt like I never wanted to leave. It was great.
You were
Fantastic.
in your element. I'm pretty sure that the DJ, the opening song was Whitney Houston. I'm pretty confident
probably.
that's how it started. And you were like, yes, loving life. For anybody that wants to check out This Spoons, by the way, we are in no way affiliated with This Spoons.
Yes, we are. We are. Get yourself to Spoons, everybody.
I highly recommend you don't, but if you want to go and check it out for yourself, it is called The Moon Underwater, Manchester. I absolutely despise it. Abby, well, knows this. Me and Spoons just don't vibe anymore. It's interesting though, because back when we first met, Spoons would be the only place that we could afford, because I absolutely agree. It is cheap,
Still is.
right? It still is. It's still cheap. I don't think it's as good a deal as it used to be, especially for food. Like, how dare they now be charging a tenner for a meal and a beverage? That's fucking ridiculous. It should still be around £7 to £8, in my opinion. But hey ho, I don't go and spend my money there anyway, so I don't give a shit. Inflation, fuck inflation.
Inflation.
But that's the only place that we could afford. So back in the day, I was kind of okay with it. I never loved it, but I was kind of okay with it because I appreciated that I could get out and go and actually get some food, if you can even call it food, and drink. Don't you pull that face at me. Now, the problem is, people,
It's
really
microwaved,
not.
but it's good food.
It's really not. If you want to get poisoned, that's the place to be. The problem is, people, that Hayley has... Oh, how can I say this? I think I've become a snob.
I was about to like put my little nose up and go, oh, hello, I'm Hayley. I can't do spoons anymore because the floor's too sticky.
That's what I don't like. I don't like the sticky floors and I don't like the food. I now appreciate, like, my taste buds have changed. I can't get on with that anymore. I can't eat food that's clearly just been microwaved. And often the jacket potato's hard and the cold comes out food.
Guys, can everybody, if anyone's watching the video, this is me playing my tiny violin. The potatoes are too hard. The floors are too sticky.
Well, that's fine. You just carry on going to Spoons. I will enjoy my other places. Thank you. However, I do get forced to go to Spoons by you every single fucking time. It's now become a tradition, hasn't it? That every time Abby's here, it's almost like, let's get Hayley into Spoons. I'm sure you take pleasure in seeing the disgust in my face.
I just think deep down, I reckon she loves it. She's putting on this whole thing, but I reckon deep down, she bloody loves the Spoons. Who doesn't love a spoon? This is a classic. If anybody is listening to this, let's make this like an official competition, shall we? Comment spoons with a love heart or whatever, like a poop emoji if you're on Team Hayley, down with the spoons, or maybe a spoons and a love heart if you're Team Abby, and we're all here for the spoons because spoons is love and spoons is life.
Abby just loves spooning.
Absolutely fucking not. Don't touch me.
Oh my God. Well, do you know, I was actually in Spoons on Friday. You know, I keep on saying how much I hate it, but somehow every time I go out, I end up in Spoons.
So you can't hate it that much.
No. I fucking hate it. The problem is I just associate with poor people.
What, my God, you heard it here first, folks. I mean, I'm not even going to dispute that because I'm poor.
She's never going to dispute it. No. The thing is, I'm kind. I have a lovely friendship group and I appreciate that they're not all snobs like me and they are definitely keeping me humble. And, you know, not everybody does have a lot of money at the moment. Things are tight. Money is like, there's not enough of it. And it's January and this has been a really long month.
It has been a long month.
The group wanted to go to fucking Spoons. I didn't start there. I did go elsewhere with a friend beforehand. And I'm not going to lie, I bought a couple of rounds and it was almost £20 for 2 drinks. So I was already starting to feel the weight of the night financially. And then we kind of walked and joined the other group that were out. And I was feeling quite generous that night. So I was like, I'll get the first round in Spoons. And I ordered a round that were 5 drinks. And the 5 drinks came to a grand total of £25. Nice. For 5 drinks. So of course I was like, on me, guys, because it was so cheap in comparison to the previous place. The vibe, it was okay. I can't, it was all right. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess anyway, with alcohol, what we said was that actually it kind of transforms people into people that we don't really want to associate with. And sometimes, it can be great and it definitely brings people out with their social anxiety a little bit, gets people having a good time. Makes people a little bit more confident as well. However, there are times when it turns you into somebody where you wake up the next morning and you hear stories about what you've done and you think, what the fuck? Who the fuck is that? That's not someone I know. I wouldn't do that. And I love hearing stories like that because I just think they're absolutely hilarious, to be honest with you. I think Hayley's got quite a few stories of me. Like, what about the time that I came up recently? I don't know if it was for my birthday. She's already shaking her head. She's just like, don't fucking remind me.
Don't talk about it. I was so angry. We've not argued that much and we don't really get angry at each other, but I was so fucking pissed off at you after that one night. I'm pretty sure it was for your birthday because I was trying to hold in the annoyance and the anger because it was your birthday and I was trying to be lovely. But so Abby's birthday is in August. That is right, isn't it? I haven't got that completely wrong. Can you imagine?
What do you mean? Are you checking with me? Unbelievable.
Did I just get that wrong?
No, my birthday is in December, Hayley.
Fuck off. So yeah, back in August, Abby came up and of course we started the night off in spoons. We even did one of those funny videos where you record yourself once when you're having your first drink and then you record yourself when you're having your last drink. Can you remember doing that?
Yeah,
was
you're
really
like,
good fun,
my name's Abby and this is my first drink of rum. And then you kind of do it as you go through the night. But I think we forgot after the first video.
We did it a couple of times. That we did do it when we got back to mine and I do sometimes watch those videos and think they're cute. So that was lovely. Started off in spoons and I was kind of okay with it because it was Abby's birthday, doing the best friend thing and all of that. Now, as Abby has doubles/triples and quite a lot of them and quite quickly because she feels that she needs to get to this level of drunk. I don't even know who she was comparing to because my husband and I don't really drink that much. So it was just her getting fucked on her own, basically. By the time we went to this other place, Abby was quite off her tits. Now, Abby is usually a very lovely, kind, caring, considerate person. Or that's who she pretends to be. Really, she doesn't give a shit about anyone. But she does present as a person that's kind and lovely. Her face. She's like, hey,
I'm getting a backhanded compliment here. I don't know what's going on. I feel insulted at every possible corner.
This is the love-hate relationship that we have, everyone. No, but generally speaking, Abby is a really nice, lovely, kind person. She wouldn't be mean or nasty to anybody, and she definitely wouldn't just confront somebody in the streets. Now, however, give her 10 rums, triple rums or double rums, and she turned into that particular night an absolute fucking man-hater. It was so extremely embarrassing, Abby. I don't know if you remember, but we went into this place called Yes in Manchester. Quite a cool place, got 3 floors. We walked all the way up to the 3rd floor. And we went to see a friend of mine who lives here in Manchester, who Abby also knows. So we walked all this way to meet my one friend who was also out with her group of friends who we don't know, by the way, right? So she was out with her group of friends for another birthday. Then we go in, we say hi to my friend, and Abby turns, sees that there is a guy wearing a suit. And I can't remember exactly what you said, but you said something like, who the fuck wears a suit on a night out? Do you remember what you said?
I do, because I stand by this.
Okay. Here comes the lie. This is the non-true version of the story. Go on.
Non-true version. I remember going into this place and, you're on a night out and you want to you just kind of, I was wearing trainers for goodness sake. So this is like the level of casual that I was dressed in. And I saw someone wearing like a full-on tailored suit. And my thought in my head when I saw him was, he looks like a fucking douche. And so I obviously thought, I'm going to tell him.
Yeah, that was it.
So I went up to him and I said, who wears a suit on a night out? I said, you look like a douche.
Yeah. And it turned out, everybody, that he was the birthday boy. So he was the birthday boy of this other group that we'd never met before. So we'd essentially just bombarded their birthday night out. And the first thing that Abby, who has no filter and is bugged, says is, you look like a fucking douche. So that was rather embarrassing. Not great first impressions, I don't think, there, love.
Well, luckily, that was the only thing I did in that place.
Yeah, no, that's also not true.
That is not true. I know. I know what the other fucking thing is as well. And I stand by this too.
So this is the thing. She was just being honest. That's essentially what you're saying is you had thoughts, you believed them, and you just expressed them. So not only did that happen, people, I'm sure that I was then at that point trying to get you outside. Not that soon after that had happened. I was like, right, we're just going to get some fresh air and go have a vape. Outside we go, and Abby's all, she's full of energy. And I'm struggling with her at this point. I'm like, God, she's doing my absolute head in. And then she sees a guy sat really far away from us, people. I'm talking like a few benches over. We are stood near the door. This guy is really far. I'd not even seen him because my back is facing him. And suddenly she's just there muttering under her breath, what the fuck's he wearing that anorak for? It's not fucking raining. Is it raining? There's not even a cover out here. But so she starts muttering it. But then she says to me, I'm going to fucking tell him. I'm going to fucking tell him. Oi! And then she starts shouting over at this dude that is wearing, I don't even know, I didn't see what he was wearing because I wasn't even looking in that direction. But from what you said, it was some sort of wet, waterproof jacket that you might wear on a hike.
It was an anorak. He was an anorak wanker. I think it's really important that we say that we were technically inside at this point and he was wearing his anorak indoors. Like it was an outdoor area, but it was a balcony thing, wasn't it? But there was heaters and stuff like this. It wasn't raining and he was wearing a full-on bird-watching anorak. And so I think I was just so baffled at the fact that people were wearing full-on suits and anoraks when they were basically in a bar. And so I just thought...
It was a terrace.
A terrace?
It was a terrace.
It was only an anorak.
Just to clarify, everybody, I said a terrace, as in he was sat down on the terrace. I did not just claim that he was a terrorist for wearing an anorak.
Honestly, these anorak wankers are getting worse.
Oh my God. So that was rather embarrassing. You had no filter.
Yeah.
So do you then remember what we did next? So we were outside and then we moved inside. Do you remember what then happened?
We saw a girl with sparkly trousers.
No, she's just making that up. So at which point, everybody, I was feeling rather embarrassed and I felt like I was a babysitter rather than a best friend at this point. I wasn't even tipsy and I think I'd got to the point where I didn't even want to drink anymore. You know, when you're just starting to feel like, no, I'm really done. I just stormed over to my husband and he was all there like, you're having a nice time. Where have you been? La, 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 la. And I just walked up to him, like leaned over and whispered very loudly in his ear in Spanish, because, Abby doesn't speak Spanish. And I basically just said to him, I can't fucking cope with her. I need a break. You can deal with her. And he looked at me really confused, like, what are you talking about? And I just said, I'll be back in a bit, then you'll tell me what's up. I then stormed off and just left Abby with my husband. Obviously, you didn't have a clue at that point that I'd said that. So I stormed off, I went to the bathroom and I was doing fucking deep breathing in the bathroom. And I was like, right, Hayley, you've got this. It's her birthday.
Hell.
It's fine. You've got this. And after a little while, I went back out and I went back to where I'd left you guys. And Manuel just looked at me and was like, what the fuck is this? What has this lady done to Abby? We were so confused about you. And then again, like in secret Spanish, we were like, this is not the lady that we know. And it's actually really embarrassing. So then we were secretly trying to come up with a plan to get you home. But you were so determined you wanted to go to the fucking gay village. And I just said, I can't deal with this anymore. I can't go.
Oh, God.
Do you remember that?
I can't really remember anything past anorak wanker.
So at this point, she wanted to go to the gay village. She was absolutely determined. So she was trying to convince all of this other group of people, remember, the group of people whose birthday boy she'd already insulted, to go to the gay village with her. There's me trying to say, no, we're going to go home. She was adamant. So she was storming off up the main road in the direction of the gay village. But it happens that she'd actually made friends with the suit guy. At this point, you were walking together.
Oh,
so he wasn't
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
He wasn't that offended. Yeah.
There we are, everybody. So I learned nothing from this because he ended up being my friend. So what I've learned from this experience is you could be an absolute cunt to men and they will still like you.
Yeah.
They will still like you. I think it's really important to add some context into this, though. Like, I had not long gone through my breakup where my partner had an affair. So I was very much on a raging war against men. And I think this suppressed anger that I had inside me was coming out when I was drunk. Because it's not the first time that I've been like that. My friends who are closer to home have also had a very similar experience from me when I've been drinking. But I think it was just, it was like this alternative version was coming out when I was drinking. And it's almost like I loved drinking for that reason, because I know that sober me, who follows the rules and is like you said, quite calm, quiet, collected, kind. I know that wasn't really what I wanted to make space for. I wanted the drunk version of me, because that's how I released my anger and was getting back at the world for being poopy to me. So I think that's why the alcohol, that's why she came out. I think my friend Emily had a name for her, actually, which was, I think it was Angry Patricia. I think that's what we called her. So sometimes when we were having drinks and my mood would change, she's like, is this Angry Patricia? We got to get ready.
I love that. Yeah,
so
you definitely have to be ready when that version of you came out. Bloody hell. Yeah. But it was really sad though, wasn't it? Because obviously, as your best friend, I knew where it was coming from, but it didn't take away from the like secondhand embarrassment and the kind of responsibility that you feel. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm a mum, and I do definitely put on the mum mask when I'm out with friends, whether that's a bar or a festival, whatever it is. I'm always looking out for everybody else, and I also do worry a lot about what people think. And I also have this, like, probably a rational fear, but because of the job that I do, I worry about being seen doing something that's not deemed socially acceptable or something like that.
Yeah.
So I have all of these kind of internal things going on. And then when my best friend is literally there shouting really dicky things at somebody, I'm like, that's not okay. Like, come on, get a grip, you know? I could sense myself feeling really angry at you, but also really sorry for you, because I knew that it wasn't you, and I knew that you needed to get it out, and that the world had been really shit to you, and that guy did this, and it's not your fault, and really, really difficult feelings. Hence, I just needed to hand you over to my husband to deal with you for a little while.
I love how much stress this has caused Hayley and all of like these inner turmoil in her mind, whereas I'm just there happy as Larry, can't even remember it in the morning.
Yeah, quite literally.
All right, okay, well, let's make things fair then. Let's try and think, has there been anything that you've done where you've had a little bit too much? I mean, because realistically, it doesn't take much for you to have a bit too much because you are a lightweight. So have you had any experiences where actually you've woken up the next morning and gone, oh, fuck my life, kill me now?
Not that many. I'm proud to say, because I don't think you would necessarily be able to name many times where you've ever seen me drunk, and I'm talking properly off my face drunk. Can you, from the top of your head?
No, realistically, no, I don't think so. I think the only thing I can think of is really way back in our past. And it's not even necessarily you being drunk. I think it was more us collectively being drunk, and then like what we made other people do because we were drunk.
Oh, God. Oh, God. In the day, it was that summer.
Summer in the summer house. And when Hayley would have a bit to drink, like she'd get really giggly, and she'd want people to do like silly things. You know, like how people would play like dares and stuff like that. But like Hayley would not want to do it herself. She wouldn't want to be
spin the bottle. Yeah.
But she'll want other people to do dares. And so, so I think one of the big things was when we got your husband and my partner at the time to reenact Naked Attraction.
Yeah.
And anyone's listening to this is like, what the fuck?
Okay, go and watch Naked Attraction if you have not already. I guarantee you will either love it or hate it. It is definitely a Marmite thing. But if you haven't seen it, then I guarantee that your mouth will probably drop. It's one of those. It is one of those. I haven't seen it for a while, but you know what? You've encouraged me to go and watch it again now. But the essence of it is that it's a dating, or would you describe it as a dating TV show?
It is, yeah, dating, yeah.
It's a dating TV show where there is one person who is seeking love, but rather than getting to know the people that are available, through talking and speaking and, getting to know each other, instead, potential lover, potential person is in a booth, and the booth has a door that very gradually lifts, and it gradually exposes certain parts of the body. And the person who is seeking love gets to choose, based on attraction alone, whether or not that person continues or not. So they essentially get to select the person or the people that they want to stay in the competition, the people that they want to get rid of the competition, until there are only 2 people left. And then they get to choose the person that they would like to go on a date with. And they do this completely butt naked.
Yep. So you're going to see a lot of willies and a lot of fannies, and it's bloody brilliant.
It is really interesting. Really, it's really funny, and also a little bit like cringe at the same time. So yeah, we kind of got my husband and Abby's ex-partner to do a very simple version of this in my back garden of all places with towels.
With a towel. And we'd be, because obviously me and Hayley were a bit tiddly. I mean, I wasn't really that tiddly, but Hayley would be in her little giggly stage, so she'd be like, and then all of a sudden, like, they would just move like the towel up, and it would just reveal their little ding dongs. Like, I like how this one's shaved, Hayley. Yeah, I like this one. This one looks like it's a grower, not a shower.
But we did, didn't we? We talked about that.
We like analysed it, like we were on Naked Attraction, where you actually had to talk and give your verdict on like what you were seeing. And then we got them. Do you remember after they had done with the towels as well? We got them to run around the garden naked. All of a sudden, wasn't it?
Yes, we did. And the thing is, this was outdoors, and we lived in a townhouse that had 2 houses that either side attached to us. I'm sure I can just imagine people like our neighbours looking over and seeing, our two partners with towels gradually lifting up and then them running around naked, and you and me just there analysing them and commenting and laughing our heads off.
And the worst thing is like, obviously, when it was like their term was over, they were like, right, roles reversed now. Hayley was like, I'm tired. I think I need to go to bed.
Got out of everything, didn't I? Yes. Yeah. We would play spin the bottle, and I was absolutely not. I mean, I'd still not do it today. I'd still get them to do it. To be fair, we actually played a very similar game. Well, we did a dare game in another of our friendship groups, Abby will know who I'm talking about. And two of the guys did also have to walk around naked in a little cabin that we stayed in. So I do tend to have this tendency to get guys to do that. It's quite funny.
This is the thing. So basically, you're not going to see like a ridiculous side to Hayley. You're just going to, if you get drunk with Hayley, you will get naked. Hayley is going to make you get naked around her, but Hayley herself will not do something embarrassing.
Yeah, I'll make you get naked, but you're not going to get any fun from me. So, all eyes, it's all eyes. But that's the thing though. I think when I drink, I get very giggly, don't I? And I think for me, when I drink, I let the younger Hayley come out, the Hayley that I've not had the chance to be really. We haven't really talked about this that much, have we? But I think we mentioned in one of the previous episodes that I was a very young mum. I didn't get a chance to just be a young person that went out and was really silly with her friends and got into a bit of trouble and, had all the giggles. I also married when I was 19. So I've been in a relationship, since I was quite young as well. And I feel that when I get drunk, it is the version of Hayley that's kind of the younger 19, 20-year-old Hayley that gets to giggle, be really silly. I don't get to be like that because I'm a professional and I have to like pretend all the time. And I actually love that version of me, but I get a bit embarrassed because that's when I think, oh gosh, are people going to think differently of me? And I think that's partly why I don't drink. One, because I genuinely don't like alcohol and what it does to people, and I do have a problem with drinking culture. But then there's also that embarrassment side.
Yeah.
I do have a funny story from my Christmas do.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. Give it to all of them. I just need to make it look like that I'm not the only one that does stupid stuff when I'm drunk.
Yeah, I mean, it's nowhere near as bad as yours. But we had our Christmas do just in the December just gone. And I, again, had told everybody that I don't really drink very much, which is absolutely generally quite true. However, we went to the Christmas do. It was in Birmingham, so we travelled down by train and I didn't have any responsibilities. We were staying in a hotel overnight. It was all free. I had no worries. And I have really lovely relationships with the people I work with. And it was in a dirty martini bar, so it was really nice. So as we arrived, I was given lots of free vouchers. So I was drinking Prosecco. I don't really love Prosecco, but it's definitely a drink that I find myself getting tipsy on easier than other drinks. So 1 or 2 Proseccos and I'm like, oh, this is really fun. Anyway, I was quite a few drinks in and I had a few guys that were trying to be a bit flirty and they kept on giving me their vouchers. Yeah, I love it because I know that they're being like flirty and I don't flirt back. I just pretend to take their vouchers and then, enjoy the drinks. By the way, my husband knows all of this. So I'd basically drank more than I was entitled to because my vouchers had run out and I'd been given more vouchers. So by this point, I'd had quite a lot. Now, we've got a new senior member within the company who's not directly above me, but is considered my boss in one way or the other. He kind of is senior. And he's a very nice man. He's very charming. And he's all right to look at. I'm just hoping he never listens to this. He's all right to look at and he is very charming and the ladies do like him. Oh. And I basically developed this mission. My mission that evening was that I was going to get this particular person into the photo booth. Yep. I was absolutely adamant. It's a free photo booth. Wow. I'm going to get him.
Are we sure Manuel should be listening to this?
Oh, he knows. So it wasn't just my mission.
Watching.
He was there. I have got a lovely team of assistant psychologists and I basically said to them, I want to get this person in the photo booth. I think we should all try. So between us, there were this like me and a bunch of other young ladies running around trying to figure out a way to get him into the photo booth. And he was absolutely adamant that was not going to happen. So I told him, I was like, I want you in the photo booth by the end of the night. He was like, no. I was like, yeah, it's going to happen. And we absolutely managed to get him into the photo booth. So then the next morning when I woke up, not only did I remember that we got him into the photo booth, but I also have the picture as evidence. And you can just see him in the corner there. And then you've got 4 girls around him. And we're all there like, you have to watch the video for this bit, guys. And there's me holding one of those props. And I'm there holding it and it says drunk and it's pointing at me. So I'm just there like holding this drunk. And then he's like squeezed in the corner looking absolutely terrified. And then not only that, but I then remembered that I told him that I deserve a bonus because I'm amazing.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I thought that was the whole reason why you wanted to get him alone in the photo booth, making it seem like it's going to be a rendezvous, but actually going to pin him down and be like, I want to fucking raise, bitch.
Yeah, I don't know which order it happened in, but yeah, amongst that night, I essentially told him that I deserve a bonus because I'm an absolute legend and that there's nobody else like me, which he agreed to, by the way, people. Not the bonus,
Okay.
but I am a legend.
Mhm.
I also told him that I don't stick around at jobs because I get bored. So every 2 years I move to find something better that pays better and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, oh, that's good to know, Hayley, because my 2 years are coming up this February. So that happened. And I pushed him into, well, not me actually, but I managed to get him into the photo booth. I felt very ashamed and I felt very worried that people were going to think that I was a slut. But it was all done in fun nature. It wasn't flirtatious. It wasn't in that way. It was more Hayley on a mission.
And realistically, like from what you've said there, all you've done is you've drunk a little bit. So you've just probably been a bit overtly drunk, which is completely normal for Christmas parties. And you've got someone in a photo booth and took some photos with other people. Like
Yeah,
when you actually
absolutely.
look at it like that, you're like, oh, I didn't fucking do anything.
It's not that bad, no. And I definitely contacted my husband and I told him straight away. I was like, by the way, this happened. Of course, it was nothing bad. There was no flirting. But for me, that was quite a big deal, I guess. I definitely woke up with the regret and the shame. And I started feeling really panicky. And I did check in with the other team members. Did I do anything wrong? Did I come across as flirtatious? Was I acting inappropriately? And everybody reassured me, like, absolutely not. If anything, you were really fun and lovely, and we love seeing that version of you. And that particular person, the man, also said how wonderful it was to see this particular version of me, because I am normally the academic, quite serious, very good at my job kind of person. So it was fun. And I think I'd like to let that Hayley out a little bit more. I'm just trying to learn how to deal with the after feelings.
They've got a word for that. It's called hangxiety. So like you got a hangover and anxiety mixed together. So hangxiety is where you have anxiety about what the fuck you did when you were drunk, and you get it the night after, or the morning after, basically. And so you wake up with, and because when you like this is a sciencey part now, guys. When the alcohol is coming out of your system, the way that it messes with your chemicals means that you're more prone to anxiety, like anxious thoughts. So then you've got that heightened anxiety around what the fuck did you do the night before, basically. So they call it hangxiety. It's actually a thing. I mean, I don't know if it's in the dictionary or anything, but it should be. But yeah, I get hangxiety a lot.
Yeah, and also, we're both anxious people in general. So add on the hangover aspect to it. Gosh, I can imagine.
Do you know who isn't an anxious person though, Hayley? Drunk Abby and drunk Hayley. No, drunk Abby, drunk Hayley. They're not anxious. They're confident as fuck. They go out there, get their pay rises. They go out there and get their, I don't actually know what I've got. I've come home with objects before. I had a threesome before. Abby goes out there and she gets her threesomes. Hayley goes out there, she gets her pay rises. Or maybe, I don't know if you actually did it or not. They've got nothing to worry about at all. They're going out there, they're telling people exactly what they think, which is what other people do all of the time, even when they're sober. Yet, God forbid, sober Abby wakes up, sober Hayley wakes up, and we go, God, please come, someone just shoot me. I don't want to have to see people. Please don't make me look at people.
Yeah, quite literally. Well, I think then that it's time that we turn to our favourite person.
Hayley loves this bit.
I do love this bit.
So we are at that time in the episode where we ask our favourite person for his opinion. And it is our lovely Bob. And for any new listeners, Bob is ChatGPT. And at the end of each episode, we always ask Bob a question to do with something that we've talked about and just to get his opinions. Because if you're anything like us girls and guys, we love to ask ChatGPT all about our lives. So today's question is, why does alcohol convince us we're funnier, hotter, and more emotionally healed than we actually are? And ChatGPT, Bob, has said, because alcohol is basically confidence on higher. Here's what's going on behind the scenes. So, number one, it turns out that you are your inner critic, and alcohol dampens the prefrontal cortex, the bit that says, don't say that, or you sound weird, or be cooler. With that voice quieter, everything you think feels funnier, smoother, and much more charming. Basically, you're not suddenly wittier, you're just less self-edited. So basically, it just takes your filter away. That's probably what it's saying, isn't it? Number two, dopamine does a little dance. So alcohol boosts dopamine, which is the reward chemical, which creates that warm, killing it feeling. And your brain starts to rate your own jokes and life choices as a 5-star automatically. It blurs emotional edges. So anxiety, sadness, self-doubt, all temporarily numbed. So you feel lighter, more open, and strangely healed. It's not therapy. Or like this, it's not therapy. It's noise cancelling headphones.
Oh,
That's
I like that.
basically what alcohol does. It also creates connection because it increases your oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone. So everyone feels closer and deeper. And you know, like how drunk girls all go in the bathroom and we all become absolute best mates. It's because no one's a bitch because they're not sober. Everyone's drunk and everyone lovey-dovey. Or you go to your friends, oh my God, I love you so much. That's your oxytocin, basically. And your time and your memory get all fuzzy. So you remember the feeling more than the content. So the night becomes, I was hilarious. Everyone loved me. I'm finally okay, even if you mostly talked about your ex or knocked over a plant. And here we go. This is I always go to the end because ChatGPT, or they're kind of like trained, aren't they, to each person. So I always find it interesting what Chat has to say to me as his signing off thing. It says, the plot twist. You're often already funny, attractive, and emotionally complex. Alcohol just removes the fear that normally blocks you from feeling it, which is rude because now your sober brain has to do the work properly. That's what he says, with a weird face, like a frowny face, like a And then it says, if you want, I can also explain why hangxiety hits the next day like a bus. Even ChatGPT has used the word hangxiety. Coi is down with the lingo, guy. But there we have it. Basically, we're just so much more cooler when we're drunk because we just don't have to worry about anything.
I find that sad. We're not gonna delve into that. But,
don't bring the mood down. No. We're love and life. We are awesome people. Alcohol is just noise cancelling headphones.
Drink responsibly, people, please.
You do whatever the hell you want, everybody.
Don't listen to Abby. Be more like Hayley.
Drink responsibly, everybody. Alcohol is very dangerous. So just be careful and just make sure that you're always in a safe place with safe people. And if you are, then great. You get 10 triple rums down deep. You know, just go for it, girl.
Maybe check your livers the next day. But yes, you do you.
You do you, boo. You do you. We don't need our liver anyway. That was interesting there. That was interesting. And you know what? We've got so many more stories realistically between the two of us. So this isn't probably going to be the first or the only episode that we do on these stupid, embarrassing, drunken moments. So if everybody likes this episode, please do let us know because we would love to have some feedback. Equally, if anyone has their own embarrassing stories that they would love to share, then please do make us feel less alone and tell us about your experiences with hangxiety as well, because we would love to hear it.
Indeed we would.
Indeed we would. But thank you everybody for listening. We will catch you next Friday when we'll get a new episode released for you all.